one of the things that really, we've all heard about it over and over and over, right? It's everywhere. You can't escape it right now. Is the whole AI, Gen AI, and it sort of like hit me in the the face when I was at Google Next, and every single vendor that was on the exhibition floor, there was AI somewhere involved in the process, in the discussion, right? And I think from a evolution / integration standpoint, this is the perfect timing for the FinOps community as well too, to just get deeply embedded in that space, because it's complicated. I mean, cloud billing files we all thought were complicated in the very beginning, and they were. But I think there's been a lot of effort to make it less complicated. The focus group's a great output on that front. But having a community in place, I stop and think how valuable that would have been when I was first getting into this and building these things out a long time ago without the benefit of a community. And the community is almost like a little bit of an AI piece, right? It's a training model piece. It's new information. It's all these places where you can go and find data and conversations from the larger community to help you solve problems that we didn't always have access to that. So I think again, it's just things are so aligning well behind the community and what it can do for the larger practitioner group.
Yeah, I mean, well, first I got to laugh. I was looking at the time to see how long it took you to say AI, and it was like 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So I want to talk about AI, and there's some really interesting things there to cover, which are maybe a different storyline than usual for the FinOps perspective. But to your point about the community and the AI community, I mean, I think it's important to think about, like, FinOps is not actually a technical discipline. It's a business practice that optimizes and maximizes value from a technical type of service, cloud, and now increasingly we're seeing cloud-like things, SaaS, licensing, on-prem, hybrid, all these things that are kind of making their way into FinOps land, because people look and say, hey, FinOps is having great results. Cloud may be only 10 or 20 or 30% of our total spend, but we're getting more transparency and more control and more optimization options. Can we do that in other parts of the technology business? Yeah, that'd be great. But because all that's there, the real challenge underneath it, to your point of the AI as community as AI, is you've got to transform the organization, right? And so, like, I spent years in the tooling space, and tooling is a critical part of the FinOps practice, but tooling fails without the business changing to be able to ready to take it on, for engineers to think differently, and finance people to understand it, and strategic sourcing to understand, and the business to figure out the right inputs. And so that cultural bit in the community is there to really help drive that change in the organization, right? And from us, for the foundation, the critical underlying part of that is the things like the evolving FinOps framework that needs to evolve to look at how the practice is built, and how sustainability comes in, and how you manage things like Gen AIs that come in. And we're seeing that community sort of feed into those framework, and the framework 2024 launched with a bunch of new capabilities, personas, and roles to help flesh that out, so that when you get the business ready and you do get your tooling in place, that can be successful. And all of that is to enable data-driven decision making that is better for the business, which then feeds back into more business changes over time. So I like that you're focusing on the community aspect, because that's, I think, the thing that you need to make it successful ultimately.